Nathalie Djurberg and Hans Berg, her partner, have sort of established for quite some time now the unique character of her work. In principle, she works with a very simple technique, which is called claymation, animating the clay through a stop motion technique. It's something very simple that everyone can sort of think of doing. It's nothing complicated with it, with her art, technically, so to speak. But she has a very elaborate way of bringing forth sort of heavy themes and issues that regard a lot of hidden cravings of humanity, sort of dark parts of our inner world or psyche, if you like, that we are so afraid of, that we don't want to touch upon because we don't know who we really would become or who we would really be. So there's a lot of themes of cruelty and violence and brutality, dark sexuality in her videos, which is played out with childlike playfulness of the clay and the colors and the modeled figures that she herself does, all of them, in a way creating very conflicting emotions, not only formally, where these two very oppositional forms are placed against each other, but also thematically, because however heavy or violent the actions in the videos could be, they are always accompanied by some kind of tenderness, some kind of awkward sweetness that the characters show toward each other while they are hurting each other. For the show at Röda Sten, Nathalie has developed a completely new film and a new installation setting. The new film is called Bang Your Little Drums, and the installation setting consists of a number of sculptures that have been taken out or are inspired by the film which we see. At the same time is a new dimension in her way of working with sculptures and installations, because for the first time you are not simply watching the sculptures and the films in a detached way, but as a visitor you are supposed to sit on them. They serve as couches as well. You can lie on them and watch the films. So there is already a step further in the interaction between the viewer, the sculptures, and the films. And on top of that, she's creating a huge platform upon which she will place a lot of the same materials that she uses to create her models for her films. In an open gesture inviting the audience to take part, to take an interactive part in the installation and create their own masks or figures or themes, whatever they like. And it's completely up to the audience to decide to live in the space, what they will create, so that the installation grows, or they can bring home the things that they will make in the space. So it's a first moment in which she's letting go of the control over her creative process and giving it over to the audience. What is typical with her films in general is that there is no storyline, there is no script. She can't work with scripts. She actually starts with a few ideas, and then she lets the actual action of the process, in the process of the making of the film, tell her which direction these initial thoughts will go. And it very often happens that the initial thought is taken far away from its starting point, and the actions or sort of the narrative of the videos is always inconclusive. It never has an sort of ending, a clear purpose. It seems to me as the characters that populate her world, they strive constantly over and over again towards something impossible. And in that sense, all this is then sort of enhanced and helped by the music of Hans. For example, if one looks at one of the films that is downstairs called I Wasn't Made to Play the Sun. It's one of the heaviest films in which there is a lot of dismembering of a human being by two men, of a woman by two men wearing bird masks. The soundtrack of it is built on the basis of cello strokes. And cello is probably the most warm instrument. The sound of cello is very close to the human voice. So there is this paradoxical approach in which the softness of the music keeps you there and glues you to the screen despite the horrible scenes or the horrible content of the actions of what goes on in the screen at the same time. There's a number of films that we are showing that are existing films that were part of a previous exhibition called The Parade that now are reinstalled in a different way to sort of lead you to the big installation that is in Katedralen. And actually, she decided to have the entrance in the exhibition not from the main door of the Katedralen, the biggest gallery space, but actually from the fourth floor. And the audience will be advised or directed to descend in the exhibition through a very narrow spiral staircase instead of taking the normal exits and entry points of the galleries. Her idea is that once you see the first video and then you come up in this vertiginous height and there is this narrow staircase that leads you down, you are presented with this amazing view of the dark space of Katedralen where the big installation is. So it's an experience from a completely different angle of what we usually see installed in Katedralen at Röda Sten. The essence of the work of Nathalie Djurberg and Hans Bergs in general, it's this perennial quest for the dark kernel of humanity, trying to understand and discover what is that makes us human and what is that makes us as human behave in such a way. And what is interesting is that this quest is not really out there. You see a lot of other things. You see violence, you see brutality, you see playfulness, you see conflicting emotions. This kind of quest is somewhere in the background. You can at times even read it in sentences that appear in the backgrounds of her videos. That is very interesting because the backgrounds of her videos are alive. They're not just static backgrounds. Things happen in them. A lot of rhetorical questions or sentences appear that don't expect an answer from you, but that lead you to delve deeper into thought about what is presented in front of you.